Do not go gentle into that good night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words have forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang in the sun, in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see the blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, no bless, me now with your fierce tears I pray. Please do not go gentle into that good night. And rage, rage against the dying of the light. This poem by Dylan Thomas is about death and how you should fight to the very, very end. This is shown by the words, do not go gentle into that good night and rage, rage against the dying of the light. In this, he uses a metaphor for night and light, talking about how night is the end or death, and light is however is life, since light and night are pretty much darkness and well light, opposites of each other. Death and life are both opposites of each other. And how do not go gentle into that good night means you're finally going to sleep for that eternal slumber. Or rage or rage against the dying. The light is rage or fight against you losing your life. You should fight to the very end and making sure that instead of just dying, just sitting there, you should live your life to the maximum. Or even if you know you're not going to be able to, at least make sure you don't die as a weak old person, but maybe die as a proud and a privileged person or whatever unfortunate disease you might obtain or an accident. Just do not die in a way that is very sad or a very weak state. This is shown by having these stories of four different men: a wise man, a good man, a wild man, and a grave man, and how each of them have a different aspect of them that they might regret. With good men, it's about how their deeds or their job that they might have done may have not been worth it, or they maybe not did it too well. And with wild men, it's how they kind of get too caught up in living life to the maximum. They soon realize that it's starting to come to an end, and they freak out over it, even they should keep on fighting. Eventually, it gets to a very personal level, where Dylan Thomas talks to his father. And this makes it different because in the last line, it's four stanzas, while each of the other ones are three. And while the other three stanzas, or other four stanzas, however, in the middle, either have rage, rage against the dying of the light at the end of them, or do not go gentle until good night at the end of them. These two lines are the lines that repeat the most. And these two lines only appear in the same stanza in the first one and the last stanza. This shows you that these two stanzas are the most important, because with his father, he's talking about how, please do not die weak, or do not die, not so much weak, but do not die thinking that you forgot something, or that you could have done something more. Die as if you accomplished everything you ever wanted to. Not only that, there's also use of tone, using words such as grieved, or even frail, or even just the word dying. It gives you this sense of much of a darker tone, or ominous tone. It makes it so that it doesn't seem so upbeat, but much more about people who are eventually coming to the end and need to come to terms with this. And this is why I enjoy this poem very much. Not only that, I had a personal connection with this. Both of my grandfathers, one who unfortunately did not meet, and the one who I did, both unfortunately passed away of cancer. And what I've learned is that they both did not go gentle into that good night, and they lived. In the dying of the light, this is what Dylan Thomas talked about his father. And it's what I'm talking about my two grandfathers, how they both did not die, not raging against the dying of the light, or going gently into the night. They did the opposite. They fought to the end, which makes me so happy that this poem can reflect that and show this. Do not go gentle into the good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words have forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying light. Old men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learn, too late, they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Great men near death, who see the blinding sight, blind as that who could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying delight. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, no bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into thy good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.